Alright, in this lesson we want to learn how we can start our programming with C# in Unity. Okay, first we should take a look at this edit preferences. At this part, external tools, we should assure that external script editor has to be Microsoft Visual Studio. It doesn't matter which version you want. What matters is it has to be Microsoft Visual Studio. After that, and we will make a folder in our project which called, for example, Unity C#. You can call it scripts, codes, or whatever you want. And here we'll right click here and let's go to the create. At the first part, and I don't know, the top of the list we have C# script. Okay, we will click it. Look at this. By default it is new behavior script. We will change it to just variables, or no, just part 1. Okay, look at this. Now we have our first C# script in our project. At the inspector, whenever we click on the C# script, we can see the content of the this C# script, but we can't just view it, we can't edit it. So we just need to double click on this C# script file and open the Visual Studio. Excellent. Look at this. It is our Visual Studio. Let me zoom in. Okay, excellent. We have different parts in our code. First, the default libraries of our C# script. Whenever you create a new C# script in Unity, it added 3 libraries to your C# script: system.collections, system.collections.generic, and Unity engine itself. And in here we can see the public class part 1 mono behavior. Look at this. The part 1 is the same name with that name we already made here. Remember, for renaming this file in the future, you just need to rename this name with any other names you want, but remember, don't add any space or other specific characters. It has to be known space, and also it has to be the same name with this public class name. For example, if you want to change it to part 2, for example, part 0. Okay, you just need to go to the C# script again and change it to part 0 and click this button, save. And let's come back to the Unity and wait for compile is done. Look at this. Now our C# script is part 0, and here the public class is part 0. Okay. Excuse me. Let's talk about the first part of our C# programming, which called variables. Imagine we want to gather some goods from the storage. So we need to have baskets, okay? From the storage, we want to have apple basket. No, sorry, just apples, orange, and bananas, okay? For each product, we should have a specific baskets. So one basket only for apples, one basket for only orange, and one basket only for bananas. Okay, so for parameters, variables, or values, we have a specific baskets for each parameter. We have, for example, number. It is integer number. It is float number, 1.5. Okay, this is, for example, hello. This is another variable. Look at this. It is a string. It is a text. It is not number. And also we have, for example, game object. You know, in Unity you can, with using this, because of having this library, you can call game objects, direction lights, camera, or lights, or other objects are specific for Unity engine. Okay, so let's learn how we can define a specific basket for each values. Look at this. We will call it public integer, for example, x equal 1. Look at this. Our x variable as a kind of integer is equal 1. In the future, I will discuss about what is the public and what is the use case of it. Let's remove it for now. Okay, we will have float y equal. It can be exactly the same with the top, the upper one, because it is float number, so it has to be something like this. Your number needs to have an f front of the number. And here we have a string, for example, text equal hello. But the text is a kind of a string, but in C# we can't show hello something like this, because how C# compiler can understand what is the hello? Hello is a string, or is it the name of another parameter? For example, if I define hello equal 5, look at this. The compiler of Unity can't understand this hello is related to this integer variable, or this hello is a text. So in C# we will say, okay, write your text inside these double quotations. Between these two double quotations you can write your text. For example, it can be hello guys, my name is Fazil. It can be more than just one word. What matters is the variable of this text has to be inside these double quotations. And for example, here we will have a game object which called, for example, I don't know, nothing. We will add in the future. Okay? And now we will save. Remember, if we want to change these numbers, for example, let's change it to 1 to 2, for example. Look at this. We will have this star here, so we need to all the time change it and save it. Let's come back to the Unity. Look at this. Our part 0 has integer x2, float y 1.5, string text hello guys, my name is Fazil, and game object is a game object. Okay, let's attach this script to the one game object here, for example, to the main component, main camera. Look at this. We have our part 0 script here, but as far as I said, if we want to change our number, all the time we should go back to the Visual Studio and change our numbers. But we have a new definition here, which called public. If I save here and come back to the Unity, in the inspector we will see we have x, and we can change it. Look at this, 3, 1, or I don't know, 150. It doesn't change our script, but what matters is the compiler says, since this moment that the user, it means you, change this x, so I will consider this number of x for doing something, not just number 2. For example, if we want to say, okay, go up, how much time you want to go up, for example, x time, okay? In your script, x time is equal 2 times, but because you change your parameter here 150 times, so your object finally goes up 150 times. And in here, we will have public and public and public. Look at this. Now we have our parameters here and we can change them easily. Look at this, x, y, text, and game object. But game object is known because we didn't add anything to this game object, variable. So we can add any game object we want by clicking this circle object, and we will see the all current, available objects in our scene, or by dragging this direction light or any object we want to this game object. Okay, and let's save our scene. For example, Unity C#, let's call it Unity C#. Now I saved my scene. Let's come back to the Unity. Here we want to do something cool. For example, by default, we whenever we want to define a variable, it depends on our decision to add a public or not. But if we don't add any public, by default compiler says, okay, because user didn't mention that it has to be public, so for me it is private. Private, it means just in the script, only this class we can change our parameter, our variable. Let's come back to the Unity. Look at this, y is gone. We have just public variables, and private variable is not visible in the inspector. Okay, until now we learned how we can use public, private, and different type of variables. Okay, let's go to the next step.